actually got much of a rear brake at the moment. Well, I suppose this could be a little bit of a review for anyone that is considering an XR400 as a commuter or a bit of a fun bike for the weekends. Maybe you want something, let's go to the front. So as you can tell, it's got a little bit of torque, yeah, just a tad. So yeah, about this bike, Honda XR400R, I think it is as well. Bought this to, well, it's really sort of to do some enduros, a bit of commuting for the winter that's about to arrive, or that's pretty much here anyway. And yeah, just a little bit of a fun bike, a little bit of a toy, to be honest, was the idea. So I thought, yeah, I'll buy this after much debate of let's go around it. Yeah, much debate. It was a toss up between this and the DRZ 400. I suppose the only reason well, there's a couple of reasons I didn't want to get the DRZ in the end, which was the 400 Supermoto, so the SM model, and get some off-road wheels for it as well. Oh fuck. Yeah, so the DRZ was more than this. It's about, give or take, for a decent one with sort of lowish mileage, which is what everyone wants. It's what's attractive. They were going probably about sort of 800 quid more than this, £900, so you know, not far off a grand more for just a toy really. I've got my other bike, which obviously is on my other videos. So I thought, you know, do I gamble with this? My first bike was an XR125, so I'm no like newbie to the Honda brand and the XRs in general. And my first XR was just a bulletproof bike. I mean, even maintaining it, obviously it needed a bit more maintenance because obviously it was a little bike and it's working hard to get very little speed out of it. But spark plug ended up, I think I bought spark plugs, brand new NGK ones, or one, for £1.50, something like that, and then it just needed a litre of oil, and that was it, service done. I mean, if all maintenance like services were as easy as that, well, that would be happy. But of course, you just live with the fact that more power means more stuff to do, more maintenance, probably a bit more awkward as well, which it's not more awkward. Obviously, changes the oil and the spark plug on this. The spark plug is a lot more awkward, getting stuck, and then obviously on the end of the tool, and it's so tight to get in between because it's in between the steering, or just behind the forks, and obviously it tucks up, so you haven't really got much room to play with. But compared to the XR125L, which is, I think it's even on the side of the bike, so it was just an absolute breeze to service, unbelievable. But yeah, so it was between this and the DRZ. I've always loved the DRZ. I've always watched the sort of people on YouTube, like the Garden Snake and that, who had their DRZs, done work to them, so I knew there were bikes you could sort of play around with modding wise and sort of make it your own. and yeah, I thought, you know, that'd be good, but obviously money is always a factor with most people, and I thought, you know, I'm intending on doing enduros. Do you want a very low mileage bike and then end up doing like enduros on it, you know, dropping it, all this sort of stuff? So I thought I'll go for the XR400. I've not heard a single bad review about it. It's just people love this bike. I definitely can see why now I bought one, and I would easily recommend it. There's so many going about cheap. Mine which was another selling point of my bike, it come with these SM wheels, so it's super motoed at the moment, but also come with the original enduro wheels, which is a nice little bonus. It just saves people having to look around, then have to do the work themselves. Unless you're into that sort of thing, that'd be quite an accomplishment to say, you know, I super motoed my own bike. Pretty cool. But yeah, it come with them, so that was it. I bought it, rode it back, and of course I'm used to my VFR 400 anyway, so this isn't my first big bike. But one thing people did say about the bike, it's not the most powerful, horsepower wise, compared to obviously your CRF 450s and so forth. There you go. But it's just got bags of torque, and well, you know, it's pretty interesting. Obviously they say this is just the hill climb beast. This is what this is, because it will pull and pull and pull, and obviously I don't know what gear I'm in. What says right, 5th, 4th, 3rd. So I'm in 3rd gear. I'll wait for a straight. Do one coming on a set. So 3rd gear. I don't know what sprockets it's got on it, because I think they've been changed as well. It might be running something a bit shorter. So 30 mile an hour, full throttle. My throttle's actually sticking at the moment as well. I've got new cables, but they need. I should pull over. I think I need to alter mine. I need to quickly adjust. That a little bit. Whoa! Hey! So, well, I think we can say that these aren't great on mud. As part of the review, I'll go down this one a little bit cautiously. See, I don't know if I've got quite a bit of mud left on those tyres. Yeah, so where was I? Forgotten where I was. So yeah, it's got bag of torque. You know, you would not complain in terms of low down end and just general pull from this bike. It's pretty fun. I'm sure with a nice smooth throttle cable as well, it'd be a lot easier, because I'm like I've said, pull the throttle and I'm going along and my hand's not on the throttle. And it just carries on going, which is quite annoying. Waiting for it to snap on me or something, but I'm not too far from my home, so it wouldn't be the worst thing now, but need to get that changed. Along with the rear pads, because I haven't really got any pads left on the back. Cheers. A little smile from them. Maybe they saw the camera. Smile. So yeah, a couple of things that need doing. Maintenance. It's just maintenance wise, I suppose. But there's nothing really that goes wrong with these bikes that I've heard of. The only thing that is, I think there was a bolt that some people say does seize up, so it just sort of grease it from time to time, or every 6 months at the least, they say, or something. Apparently mine's free. That's what the seller said. It's free or something like that. So take his word for it. I'm sure you wouldn't put it in the ad if it wasn't. You just wouldn't mention it, I'm sure. So yeah, I thought, got quite a good deal. Considering I've got the off-road wheels as well, which normally are marching. It would have been cool to do a wheelie then if I knew how to do it. That's one thing I can say. Unless you're in first gear, I don't believe. Obviously, I've still got a sticky throttle cable and no really rear brakes, so I don't want to keep trying to see if it can power wheeling. But I think it's mostly, from what I've seen in videos of other people, it's a clutch up one, or clutch, whatever it is. You just clutch in and obviously give it some revs to get this front wheel up, which obviously I want to learn to do at some point. On private land, of course, because it's illegal to do it on the roads, and I like my licence. So, but yeah, it's a cracking bike really. It is good fun, and I haven't even been off road with it yet, and apparently that's really where it does shine. Judging from other people's videos on Fun for Talk, etc., and stuff like that. But obviously, Supermoto just gives me that I'm a hard man, you know, yobbo. Alright. Even the throttle then, obviously my front wheel was trying its best to come up. But yeah, it's just power, yeah. Get used to that. But just depends what you're after. The seat height, again, you know, nearly at the end of the review. Great bike. Seat height is tall, I'm 5'10". When I'm at a standstill, I need to sort of lean the bike a little bit just so I can have 1 foot flat on the floor. Otherwise I look a bit of a plum, I think.